Good morning, Ultimate Hustlers. It is that time, man. It is time for the Cortez Hustle Show. And today we're talking about youth entrepreneurship, man. Listen, it is now the best time to be teaching the babies about entrepreneurship. I got a very special guest, a few special guests for you guys today. This family is doing some amazing things. Mom, entrepreneur, both kids, entrepreneurs, doing some amazing things. I'm going to introduce you to them, let you hear from their story as to why and how their entrepreneurship journey is going. So do me a favor, comment in the chat where you're from, drop the name of your business and or your brand, and smash that share button, ladies and gentlemen. You do not want to miss this one. I believe every child has an entrepreneur in them, and we've got to draw it out of them. We got to mine it out of them and let them know it is okay to want to be bosses. Speaking of bosses, if you are a boss, let us know the name of the business and or brand that you are building. Share this on your timeline. You're not going to want to miss this. And let's kick it, people. Yo, what's up, Ultimate Hustlers, and welcome to the Cortez Hustle Show, the business podcast for the entrepreneur of the 21st century. And I'm your host, Cortez Hustle. Our goal is to give you a behind-the-scenes look at how the world's greatest hustlers build amazing brands, scale their businesses to incredible heights, sell more, make more, and create mass movements that impact the world. It doesn't matter if you're a seasoned vet or you're sitting on the sidelines with aspirations to one day unleash your inner hustle. This show will provide the insights into how pure grit, determination, and hard work has morphed into some of the most iconic brands and personalities and how they are moving the culture forward. You'll get a mix of solo shows featuring yours truly, as well as interviews and content from other hustlers that I either know personally or I've learned from or whose grind I've come to know and respect. And you'll also get exclusive recordings from our membership called Monetize My Life Academy, which you can check out at monetizemylifeacademy.com. That's a program where we go live every month with some of the best hustlers on the planet, sharing best practices on how we all can explode our brands with advanced branding and marketing tactics, business development strategies, and financial game planning necessary to build the empires we all desire. Again, that's at monetizemylifeacademy.com. If you like today's episode, chances are the hustlers you're connected to will like it as well. Share it with those in your network. And when you do, use hashtag Cortez Hustle so I can see you and hopefully give you a shout out and share you in my stories. So check out today's episode and make sure you subscribe to the feed on your favorite podcasting networks. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Cortez Hustle Show. I am, of course, your host, Cortez Hustle, also known as the one and only financial health mentor, everybody's favorite fatherpreneur from bizcredithelper.com. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, if you are in business and you are not building your business credit, then you are slacking on your macking, ladies and gentlemen. All you got to do is go to bizcredithelper.com. You'll learn through this free masterclass what is required of you to build business credit. I'm super excited. Just got my first business credit report, got an 80 on a paydex score, and got 6 open credit lines on my business credit. I'm super excited, man. And I watched the masterclass, kind of learn what to do. And I'm gonna be honest, y'all, I wasn't gonna do all that stuff by myself, so I just bought the program. But you don't have to buy the program. It's going to tell you what you need to do to start going down the road to build business credit. So go to bizcredithelper.com. A couple quick announcements before we bring on our very special guest talking about youth entrepreneurship. Why is it so important to start teaching our babies about being bosses early in life, and that it is okay to do that? And then for those of you who stick around, I'm going to teach you the number one issue that we have with exploding our innermost and becoming our innermost expression of ourselves. So I'm going to share that with you guys for those of you who stay to the end of today's episode. But really quickly, I'm super excited about, I'm about to launch, guys, a program that has been near and dear to my heart for a long time. And I'm kind of coming up with the timing the branding and the marketing, the messaging, and how I wanted to roll this out. But it is finally here, and I'm starting a free program to teach Black men how to build wealth. It's going to be a private Facebook group and community. I'm calling it Financially Led Fathers. And it's for fathers and aspiring fathers that want to get a better understanding of financial literacy. It's going to be a safe place for men to talk about the things that are holding us back in our finances and how we can overcome those things, from earning more money, from saving money, to growing the money that we earn and save. It's going to be a phenomenal program. So if you know any men that's serious about getting their money together and they want to be part of a private community to help them do that, then you want to connect them with your boy, tag them in this video, and be on the lookout for the rollout of that program. So super excited about that. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I have the wonderful pleasure of working with this young family, and really as part of my mentorship with an organization called Young Biz Kids, where we teach entrepreneurship to children. This is one of the families who not only started in that program, but really took it to an entirely different level. They got serious about their business. Mom is really committed to making sure that the kids succeed. So she goes out and she gets coaching and mentorship to help her become a better momager, is what we call them, so she can better help manage the kids. And she's learning about entrepreneurship herself. And really, it's amazing to see them grow. So I'm going to introduce some of y'all and present to others the Powell family. We've got Tanika, Joshua, and Takaya. So welcome to the Cortez Hustle Show, family. How you guys doing this morning?
All right, we're doing good.
Awesome. Well, look, before we get started and get into your stories about who you are and your whole journey and what got you started with entrepreneurship and why you teaching the kids, Tanika, about entrepreneurship and that kind of stuff, we like to start the show with a quote of the day. And that's simply why I just give one of my favorite quotes. It's usually something that I learned this morning as I was going through my morning routine. But if you have a favorite quote, you can share or you can chime in on this quote. But today's quote of the day right here on the Cortez Hustle Show is from Lisa Nichols. And I heard a small part of her interview on the Steve Harvey show where she said she came to a point in her life where she realized that, quote, I am my own rescue. That's the quote. I am my own rescue. Nobody is going to rescue me but me. So that is a quote from the great Lisa Nichols. Do you guys have any favorite quotes that you guys like?
Well, I know for me, myself, one thing I have to keep reminding myself as I'm going through this entrepreneurial journey with my children and myself, I have to remind myself to make time for what is seen to be impossible. Make time for impossibilities. So many that what we feel is what's impossible or roadblocks stop us from achieving the vision, the purpose that we are set to do. So knock out all those roadblocks and make time to conquer the impossible. What's yours?
I love it.
Mine is to take one day at a time and to always tell yourself it's not too late to do something that you always want to do.
Woo-wee, one day at a time, and it is not too late. Josh, there's a lot of grown folks watching right now that need to hear that, man. So I thank you for that, brother. I thank you for that. Madam Takai, do you have a quote?
Yes,
No.
Yes, you do. What's your saying?
Reading is
Speak
my
up.
Superpower.
Say it again so they can hear you good.
Reading is my superpower.
Reading is my superpower. You better tell them, Takaya. That's what it's all about. But I want folks to know that we've kind of been duped into this whole belief that and don't take this the wrong way, because I'm a Christian, so I understand, the Savior and Jesus Christ and all that kind of stuff. But we've kind of been duped that it's somebody else's responsibility to chase our dreams for us. And it's not, y'all. So and when I heard Lisa say that this morning, and then I look at all the stuff that she's been to, she said she went to a workshop 42 times because she was trying to learn something and she couldn't get it. She went 42 times until she learned it. And after she learned it, she raised $500,000 for her program. So, like Josh said, it is not too late to start something that you want to do, but it starts with the belief and the knowledge that you know that you are going to be your own rescue. So that is the quote of the day right here on the Cortez Hustle Show. And today's quote of the day is brought to you by my man, Brian Keith McNeil. And since we got Youth Entrepreneurship Day, Brian Keith is a sales confidence coach. And he not only teaches adults about sales, but he's got 2 books for children. And Josh, you might want to check this one out. Why Rhinos Make Great Salespeople is the first. And then he's got the 932, right? 9 most important words, 3 most important skills, and 2 most important questions that you should be asking as entrepreneurs and young salespeople. So go to Brian K. McNeil, that's McNeil.com to check out both of those works. And he's even got them in bundles at a couple adult books. So Tanika, you might want to check out the bundle for yourself, but he's a great sales coach. So make sure y'all check out Brian K. McNeil and this journey that you guys are on called entrepreneurship. So really quick, tell everybody, man, who the heck is the Powell family?
Oh man, I guess I'll start. I'm Tanika Proud. I'm a registered nurse, born and raised in St. Louis, but we recently moved to West Tennessee, right outside the Jackson, Tennessee area. I'm gonna say entrepreneurship hustle has always kind of been in me. It started with me selling some nine-liter candy, 5th grade, and it progressed until selling name bracelets, doing hair, legal services, things like that. But I kind of got caught up when I went to college. I kind of let my entrepreneurial journey kind of fizzle out a little bit, even though it's always been in me.
Yeah.
But the hustle died down in me because I was focused on my studies. But even though I was still doing her in college and selling chicken plates in college,
okay.
I wasn't as invested as I was when I was younger. And so when I had Josh, we were going through, let me tell you, his business was birthed out of adversity. We was going through a very trying time in our lives as a family. And he was inspired by one of his friends, Mia, owner of Mia's Treats Delights, amazing cookies. And he came to me, he was like, Mom, I want to start a business. And I'm like, no, you don't. So I kept going. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I ignored him because I'm like, he don't know what he's talking about. He ain't ready for the real hustle. And he was like, no, I seriously want to. And he kept coming and coming. And I'm gonna let him finish telling his story.
Okay, so how Jay-Z Sweet started, how I started off selling cake pops. My mom was offered me the recipe to her famous cake pops. Yeah. Just like I'm for real, she's an amazing chef. She makes some good stuff.
He trying to gas me up, y'all.
It is true, but later on I learned how to make cake pops, and then so far I thought, why not sell treats? And later on we got the name like Jay-Z Sweets because I'm selling sweets and Jay-Z and it rhymes. And later on we also created some more dip treats like dip cookies and dip Oreos, dip crispy treats, and dip pretzels.
Yeah, I love that. And it was Mia, and I'm familiar with Mia. That's my girl. She does have some amazing cookies. So why were you so persistent, Josh, when your mom ignored you the first time? Why did you keep coming back like, Mom, no, for real, I want to start a business?
Because I was serious about starting a business. I saw all these amazing young entrepreneurs doing their own thing. I'm like, you know what? I want to start my own business. I want to be a part of this. I want to do something great. I want to make myself feel proud. And later on, I feel like later on, and it's hard to explain, but later on, I like to give the money to foster care because I thought it's a good thing to do. It's a good thing to help the young children. A good thing. and it's a good thing to support the people in need and the people.
Love it. Love it, love it, love it. So you guys, I met you guys through Young Biz Kids and my girl Ariel, and that's kind of when I first was introduced to Josh and Takai was very, very. I mean, she's young now, but she was very, very young. Then, how did you guys come across that program? Was it because you wanted some extracurricular activities for the children, or did they find the program and bring it to you?
It was actually because me and Mia's mother, we went to school together, and I saw that Mia was a part of Young Biz Kids. So when Josh, what made me say, okay, let me look into this. When Josh came to me, and he kept coming, but when he said, Mom, I really want to help kids in need. I want to help the homeless and stuff. And I'm like, wait a minute, he got a he really thought about this. He was just around like 10 years old. Like, okay, he's serious. So I hooked up with Tamisha, that's Mia's mother, and asked her, you know, how did she get started? And she was like, you all would be good with Ariel with Young Biz Kids. And learned about the program, and we've been hooked since. It's been about 3-4 years that we've been.
Yeah. Gotcha. And how was the journey as momager? Like, because it's one thing to have your own hustle, but then you've got the kids who are starting to kind of get on this journey. So what was your, how has your journey been learning and growing in your capacity, stretching yourself so that you can be a better support to them?
So to be honest, and I'm gonna be transparent, part of the reason why I was saying no to Josh when he kept asking me, I was like, we're already going through. I can't add another thing to my plate. Like, if or for selfish reasons, I didn't think I could do it. Not that I couldn't do it. I was just like, it's gonna be too much. It's gonna be too much. But when he hit me with the Mom, I really want to help kids in need. I want to help, you know, the homeless and children in foster care. Like, I really want to do this, and I want to make some money. And I'm like, he'll probably get out of my pockets because my stretched already. Yeah. I said, okay, so what I had to do, and it goes back to my favorite quote, make time to conquer the impossible. I felt like that was impossible. I felt like I could add another task to my plate as a mom. I'm already single mom, full-time nurse. I had a lot going on, but I said, you know what he wants to do is bigger than my apprehensions, my fears, my concerns. Is bigger than that. So I had to get that hump first. And we serious talk. I let him know, hey, you know, I got your back. Whatever you want to do, I got your back. But it can't all just be Mom. You got to put in some work too, you know. So we can't plan of what we were going to do, how we were going to help. Even Sis was involved. She was like 4 or 5. But we all came up with a plan together as a family. And we let them know, yeah, you're the boss, you the CEO, but you got to put in work. You know, you can't say I'm the boss. No, boss got to put in work just like everybody else. And it kind of relieved, even though I have to manage and oversee, make sure that everything is running smoothly, but he has really stepped up, and that kind of takes off a little of the edge. It takes off some of the pressure off of me. Gotcha. It really makes a difference when your child really, really, really wants to be involved.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. And Josh, we got to take a break, and I'm going to do 1 minute motivation, but I want you to start thinking about the feeling that you had the first Young Biz Kids marketplace where you sold out of all of your stuff, right? Because that had to be an amazing feeling. I want to get that feeling from you. Tell us how that made you feel. But right now, this is a part of our show that I do every episode, and it's called 1 minute motivation. I believe strongly in putting positive information in your head. So I listen to motivational videos all the time. So we're going to play a short motivational video, and then I want you to pick 1 or 2 things that stuck out to you in this video, and I'm going to give you a couple of my takeaways. So this is 1 minute motivation right here on the Cortez Hustle Show, the Jay-Z Sweets version of 1 minute motivation. Let's kick it.
That to achieve these goals, you must apply discipline, and consistency. In order to achieve your goals, you must apply discipline, which you have already done, and consistency every day, not just on Tuesday and miss a few days. You have to work at it every day. You have to plan every day. You've heard the saying, we don't plan to fail, we fail to plan. Hard work works. Working really hard is what successful people do. And in this text, tweet, twerk world that you've grown up in, remember, just because you're doing a lot more doesn't mean you're getting a lot more done. Remember that. Just because you're doing a lot more doesn't mean you're getting a lot more done. Don't confuse movement with progress. My mother told me, she said, yeah, because you can run in place all the time and never get anywhere. So continue to strive, continue to have goals, continue to progress.
It's my man Denzel breaking it down. So the reason I like this is because we all just listened to the same clip, but we all heard something different. So what did you guys hear?
I'll let Jay-Z take it on this one. What did you hear?
I heard that we fail to plan and we plan to fail.
When you plan,
Wow.
you fail to plan.
Love it. Love it.
How you pick that?
I don't know, because I just like to plan stuff sometimes, and and it's always good to plan stuff because just in case,
Mhm.
Something happens and you have something you need right there,
You'll have a backup. Yep.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. I love it. How about you, Mom?
What I got, this isn't a direct quote from there, but what I got was people who, like when he was talking about his mom says a lot of time you're running in place, but you're not really going anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And it applies to what's happening today, because people say, oh, I'm busy. But what are you busy doing? And are you busy achieving your goals? Are you busy accomplishing your dreams? Because if you're just busy, you're just wearing yourself out if you don't have a plan or no movement in place.
Love it. Love it. Yeah, that was one of my biggest takeaways. Takaya, what is you just too quiet for me this morning, young lady. What's going on? Since reading is your superpower.
Right. Talk about what did you get from it? Or you just was in your own world.
Vivian says, my takeaway is don't stay in one place. You must grow in what you're doing. I mean, there was so much packed in it. It says, man, plan every day. This is one of my favorite sayings. Hard work works. Sometimes we try to run from the work, but it actually works. Just do the work and get it over with, right? Doing a lot doesn't mean you're getting a lot more done. Like you said, that busyness, right? A lot of people are instead of handling business, they are handling busyness. And you gotta know how to handle business, right? Always continue to strive. And that's my message to you young folks, man. Continue to strive, continue to stretch, continue to grow. Don't let your dreams stay small. Here's what Mom is going to help you understand as you start getting a little older, Josh, is right now you got these big old dreams. And in order for them to stay big, you have to learn how to make your income match. Because what happens is when you become an adult, you will start making a certain amount of money and you'll try to squeeze these big dreams into this little bit of money. And then you'll start cutting things off. No, I really don't want that bad. No, I can live without that. No, figure out how to make your money stretch so that you can accomplish all of those big dreams and goals. So that is 1 minute motivation right here on the Cortez Hustle Show, brought to you by bizcredithelper.com. Listen, go learn how to get your business credit in order. If you got your business affairs squared away, you got your LLC, you know what you're doing, you got your products, you got your services,
one of the things that separates the top businesses from everything else is their access to capital and resources. And we love to use OPM, other people's money, to grow our businesses and our brands. And you got to know how to structure your business properly so that you can qualify for business credit and business funding. Go to bizcredithelper.com. Now, Josh, before we went to 1 minute motivation, I was asking you about your first time selling out, because you did it the first time and then it just became a regular thing. Every time you do a pop-up somewhere, you just sell out all of your stuff. How did it feel the first time you sold out of all of your stuff? You made that money and you're like, I actually do have some money that I can now give to my favorite foster care. How did that feel?
Well, the first thought I thought was like, oh, I sold out. I'm all that. Was, that I can do this, and this is the daily thing that I can do. That I do this, but I got to put in the work in it.
Yeah, it gave you the confidence, because there's nothing like having an idea and a plan, and then the plan actually works. And it's like, hey, you know what? So now I can make a bigger plan. I can make a better plan. What is one of the favorite places that you like to donate money to and go help out in terms of one of your favorite charities?
Well, to be honest with you, I don't really have all favorite charities, because every charity is favorite, because I like what they do, because every charity has something special and unique about it. But the one that most to is Annie Malone. Annie Malone,
yeah, that's a good one, man. And Annie Malone has been around for a long time, helping St. Louisans, grow from places of hardship and come out of that. So that's a great one to choose from. When he sold out the first time, he played it down. How happy was he when he sold out?
The whole ride home. Hey, Mom, I sold out. Okay, so this is what we could do. People really like this flavor. Let's try this new flavor. And you know what? I got this candy. Let's try buying this candy. And like the ideas got bigger and bigger and bigger. But it worked. It worked. So I let him, let his ideas flow. I let him, accomplish what it is he want to accomplish. I just reel him back in if he starts getting a little bit too big headed. But But that really motivated. See, like you said, he downplaying it. That really motivated him to think of how to take his business further. And he didn't really realize that he was planning and strategizing, because he was so excited, but he was planning at the same time.
Yeah, and I remember that, because I watched the kids as they evolve from one class to the next with young biz kids, and one marketplace to the next. And you could see the growth. You could see the fire starting to grow in them. They're paying more attention. They're asking more questions, and they're really trying to soak up everything they can. So shout out to Ariel, man. That was a great program for introducing kids to entrepreneurship. But why, Tanika, was it important? Is it important for you to keep this thing going? Because now you got baby girl involved. Even though she's shy, she's a best-selling author. She's got her own book out. And why is it important for you to keep it going now that you kind of, well, let me ask this. What are some of the intangibles that you've seen show up in their lives that may not be related to business on the surface, right? As they start doing more in school, the confidence growing, what are some of the things that you see coming out of them as they become more involved with entrepreneurship?
Well, the confidence level has definitely grown, and them seeing that they can actually, it's one thing to dream. We all dream. But what I love about these two, they're taking their dreams and making them reality.
Yeah.
And a lot of us adults, I could say that I have some dreams that I haven't made into reality yet, but they're doing it at the age of 14 and 9, And as far as their schoolwork go, now this one loves reading, and I'm gonna get to that in a second. This one likes science, history, mainly Black history. Math, neither one of them really isn't into math. But started their own businesses, they were like, okay, yeah, I got to get my math skills up because math is a huge part of it.
Mm-hmm.
They started learning about budgeting and, adding, subtracting percentages and things like that. It really got them more. Math still isn't their favorite, but they don't despise it as much because they know, hey, I have to get my math skills together when it comes to, making my money and business expenses and this, that, and the other. So,
Yeah.
Entrepreneurship, I mean, it helps them as far as like learning, owning your own business and like that, but it's helped them outside of that as well.
Yeah, and one of the things that I don't like about our school system is the way they're introducing, like you said, because they have a business, now they understand practical application for math and how important it is. So even if I don't like it, I ain't finna get out here and have my pop-up shop going and I can't count and get cheated out of my money. So I'm gonna figure out how to get this math thing done, even if I don't like it. And the same thing with science, because he's got to understand the recipes, he's got to understand portions and all of that kind of stuff, fractions. Hey, you need a half a teaspoon of this, a third a teaspoon of that. And it brings it all together in a way that makes them understand the necessity of it, because you don't never have to like anything, but if you know you need it, you're going to figure out how to retain that information. So I absolutely love that about it. And let's talk about you, because you know it's important for them. You're keeping it going because they're getting a lot out of it. But you had to go through some growing pains yourself as an entrepreneur. And I know you've been working with Ariel closely in becoming a better, what we call momager, right? How important is it for you to continue being coached, being grown, learning and growing in your own process so that you can be better for them? Because their businesses are only growing. So it's not like you can just stop. You got to make sure that they managing more and more and more money because they're growing. How is your coaching journey going?
So with one thing I realized, it's different. It's different being a fifth grader hustling 9 laters and penny candy, and actually being an entrepreneur as a grown woman, as a mother. So I knew that there were some things like I still can have that hustling spirit, but I had to learn what exactly entrepreneurship is, and that's why I'm so glad that I was able to meet and connect with Ariel to learn those things, because I knew it was important for me to learn, because I want them to be successful, and I can't be successful if I'm deficient in my learning. If I teach them, or if I can't give them the resources to be taught on what it is to have a successful business, then they won't grow. So I knew I had to step up as well. And when, I don't know why she acting shy, but when she came to me telling me she wanted to, my daughter wanted to write her book. Like, I really love to write, and she got that from me. I like reading. She loves reading, but I knew I had to learn the publishing business. And Ariel helped her son publish his book, and then me being a part of #MomBoss, which Ariel is the visionary author of, I had to learn the publishing business. It's one thing to write, but when you're putting it out there for the world, you have to learn the publishing business. So not only did I get coaching from Ariel, but look, I tell everybody, if you don't have the money up front for courses, there's YouTube University and the college. So I learned all that I could from YouTube, Ariel, Google, and then I watched other independently owned publishing companies and traditionally big name publishing companies. And I learned the business and how to not only publish her book, because it's one thing to put a book out, but I wanted her to be successful. And that's how Ariel helped, and that's how we all, helped her to be a best-selling author.
I love it. I love it. And sometimes, like, how does that taken away? Because that takes time, right? So what was the sacrifice like for you as a mom? What did you have to give up in order to have the time to go and watch YouTube videos, have the time to be coaching with Ariel, have the time to help him whip up his cake pops and all? Because it's not like it's not like you're completely hands off because they're still kids. There's still things that you have to be right there watching them. So what kind of things that you had to sacrifice, and tell me from your own words, is it worth it?
Oh, it's definitely worth it. As far as sacrificing, time is the main thing. It's sacrificing
Mhm.
time. That could be time that, I could be using for myself or
Mhm.
accomplishing my own ideals, dreams, and things like that, which I can still do. But going back to my initial quote, make time to conquer the impossible, I had to make time. So even if it was getting up an hour earlier than I normally do, or going
Mhm.
to bed about an hour later, not too late because we still need our rest. But, and then me and Josh, and she was a little bit younger, but me and Josh, we got our planner and we just,
Mhm.
okay, this day we're gonna make cake pops. This day we're gonna go buying supplies. This that like we actually plan our days, our week, and that helped us a lot because that kind of
Mhm.
let up some time for me to do other things as a mom and to help them with schoolwork, with their other activities and things like that. So it's just time management is very, very key. I sacrifice a lot of it, but it's worth it.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Real quick, I know that you guys both are best-selling authors. You are part of hashtag Mom Boss, her with her own book. Talk about your own writing journey, and is that something that you're going to pursue yourself as your own hustle?
Yes, yes. I've been writing actually since I was fourth grade. I really love Marvel comics. So it
Hmm.
started off with me, like, the X-Men. That's how I
Yeah.
introduced to Marvel. So in fourth grade, I was like, I really love Storm, but I'm like, I need to see some more Black folks. So I made
Hmm.
up my own comics called the T Women. He had X-Men. So I had Tanika's women, and they were all Black women superheroes. And
Mm.
I was like, you know what? I got something here. And so I would write short stories from elementary school to middle school. And then when I got to college, I began to write poems. And I entered those poems into several contests and actually won like literary awards for those poems. But life happens. I started
Hmm.
kids, I had a career, and I kind of let that fall down. So when Ariel approached me about Mom Boss, it kind of reignited that literary flame, that writing flame
Hmm.
back
Yeah.
in me. And so in the future, right now, I'm developing a publishing company called Faith Right Now, and
Hmm.
that's where we publish Takaya's book, Reread the Reader, through. That was the first book I published through the company. I'm still learning
Yeah.
the business, so I haven't put it all the way out there yet because I want to make sure that it's polished, it's
Hmm.
right. I just don't want to put something out there just to say I have a business. And
Right.
my nephew saw Takaya, he was motivated by her success and her book, and he really loved Riri the Reader. And so he recently just published his comic book, which is called Tech Boy. And he
Mm.
became a best-selling author, and he's been on the best-selling list for 4 weeks now.
Wow.
I'm like, okay, I think I got something here. So I'm in the process of like developing my not only my coaching skills as far as helping children's books
Hmm.
publish, but publishing stuff myself. I got to
Yeah.
put my stuff out there too. So I'm
That's right.
working on that.
That's right. Well, I absolutely love you guys, and I'm glad that that hustle came back because of the children, right? Because sometimes we do, like you said, life happens, and we get in our own way. We make all kinds of other excuses, and we just get away from the things that we know we love. I like to say it like this: we have passions for a reason. I think God gave us all passions because if we learn how to monetize our passions, that keeps us in those things that we're involved passionately about long enough for us to discover our purpose. And when you discover your purpose, that's where your provision is also. So I don't believe God says, hey, I gave you a purpose. And while you're trying to fulfill that purpose, you got to figure out how to feed, clothe, and house yourself. I think he says, when you find your purpose, that purpose is going to make sure that you can feed, clothe, house yourself, and live in abundance and in prosperity. So tell everybody how they can connect with you guys. How can they get Riri the Reader? How can they get Josh Famous Cake Pops? How can they get hashtag Mom Boss? Or if they want to work with you and get their own book published, what's the best way for everybody to connect with you?
Okay, so since she been quiet all day, I want you to tell them real quick, what is Riri the Reader about? And speak loud.
Riri the Reader is about a young girl who has superpowers through reading.
Okay, so Riri the Reader is about a young girl based in St. Louis who gains superpowers just by simply reading. And she wrote this book. She came up with this book because she really loves to read and she wanted other children to understand the importance of reading. So she came up with this book and she partners with Reading Superheroes St. Louis, and they books to several children in St. Louis to build their own libraries at home. And she's also donated some books to a school here in West Tennessee. So she's playing herself down. But that's the part of being a momager. You got to hype your kids up. So I'm a hype woman. She's doing more than what she's saying.
Gotcha.
But Riri the Reader and hashtag Mom Boss. Hashtag Mom Boss is about 11 women, myself included, who we basically talk about our journeys of not only being mothers, but managing our children's businesses. So you can find both of these books at www.faithrightnow.com. So you'll see it at the bottom of the screen. The right is like you're writing. So it's www.faith.now.com. And also on my website, and Josh didn't tell it, I'm the hype woman, so I'm gonna hype them up.
That's right.
I have for Jay-Z Sweets on my website as well, because Josh has just finished his manuscript for his children's book, which is going to be about a young boy who gets powers through baking and things like that. Jay-Z not gonna get too deep off in the plot, but he just finished the script.
Good.
So you'll be able, so you can go to that website, you'll find all that information there. And my nephew's book, Tech Boy, is linked through my website with that as well. And if people want to like link up with me to talk to me about like publishing, right now I'm more into helping people with children's book, because there's a huge deficit of children's book multicultural protagonists, mainly Black protagonists. So I'm focused on the children's book aspect, but I will go into adult books later on. But if you want to link up with me, I have my my email on my website, which is hello@faithrightnow.com. You can find all of us on Facebook and Instagram. You have at Jay-Z Sweets, at Mom Boss Nika, and at Riri the Reader, RERETHE Reader.
Love it, love it, love it, man. You guys are amazing. Continue the great work, Mom. Continue the great work, guys. Remember, hard work works. Keep putting in the hard work, because what most adults don't realize, the harder you work while you're young, the easier life becomes. Jim Rohn used to say it like this: if you want life to be hard, choose what's easy. If you want life to be easy, choose what's hard. And you guys are choosing entrepreneurship, and that is hard, but you're going to grow the most, and life is going to be easy because of it. So I appreciate you guys for joining me on the Cortez Hustle Show this morning. Ladies and gentlemen, when we come back on the other side of this break, I'm going to talk about the one thing that holds us back the most. So y'all want to make sure that you keep it locked right here.
I want to help you guys teach the babies about money with this brand new resource right here. Bang, check that out. Kids Love Money. They just don't understand it, by S.L. Crawford. Man, I'm excited about this. I'm actually having the author of this book come on the Cortez Hustle Show in a couple weeks, so y'all be looking out for this. But I didn't just get the book, y'all. Watch this. She also created these wonderful money flashcards. Boom. Check that out, man. So now we've got no excuse as to why we are not teaching our babies about money. We know that they're never going to teach this stuff in school. Poverty is a multi-trillion-dollar industry. So please understand that it is your responsibility as a parent to make sure your children are financially literate. You can no longer use the excuse that, hey, my parents didn't teach me about money. No, you can go and learn about money yourself so you can teach it to your children. So these are some pretty dope flashcards that comes with a bundle that I bought. And then this is the book.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Cortez Hustle Show. I am, of course, your host, Cortez Hustle. Yes, we're listening to and learning from the Proud family. Man, young entrepreneurship is where it's at, man. Teach your children earlier about business and entrepreneurship. I told you guys on the other side of the break that we'll talk about the number one thing that holds people back. And I want to share my thoughts with you before we get out of here. And that is belief, y'all. Belief is holding people back. Most of us don't realize that we are not required to have the approval or the buy-in from other people around us to make our dreams come true. We often will have an idea, have a dream, have a goal, have something that we want, and then we'll share it with those around us. And if they cannot see the vision, if they cannot see the dream, if they can't see it working, we would then put that on the back burner. The book I read tells me this: all things are possible for him that believes. It didn't say all things are possible for him who's got homeboys that believe. It didn't say all things are possible for him or her that's got a spouse that believes. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't hear anything else from the Cortez Hustle Show, hear this. There's only one person required to believe, and that is you, my friend. A lot of times when you tell somebody something about what you're going to do, here's how our brain works. If you told me something that you were going to do, I automatically put myself in your shoes. And my response to you is based on my ability to do what you say you're going to do. So if you tell me that you're going to build a business in a certain area, I put myself in your shoes. And because I can't see how I could build that business in that area, I'm going to tell you my thoughts about my inhibitions, my inability, and that might extinguish your fire. You got to remember something. That vision is your vision. And usually that vision aligns with the gifts, talents, special abilities that God buried deep down inside of you. He didn't bury those same gifts inside of me. So when you're trying to do something to fulfill your vision, I don't have the same gift. So of course I'm going to say that I can't do that. And I'm going to discourage you from trying to do that. Remember, there's only one person required to believe it. Your mama ain't got to believe it. Your daddy ain't got to believe it. Your spouse ain't got to believe it. Your homeboys, homegirls ain't got to believe it. Your haters ain't got to believe it. Only person required to believe is you. And when you believe, here's how you start the process of making it happen. You have to first believe. And because you believe so strongly, it's literally going to change your thought process. And you're going to have thoughts that align with that belief. Those thoughts are going to lead to the words that come out of your mouth. You have to speak the things that you believe, not the things that you see. Speak what you believe, because all the universe knows how to do is say yes, y'all. I keep telling y'all that. All the universe knows how to do is say yes. You say you want to do something, the universe says yes. I agree. I'm going to help you do it. You say you can't do something. The universe says, yes, I agree. I'm going to make sure you never do it. So you have to believe, and you have to speak what you believe. Your words become your actions. You start acting out what you're saying based on what you believe. And every action you take is going to lead to a result. You're going to get results. Here's the trick, though. You have to know how to properly evaluate your results. Most people don't. If I ask you right now, if I gave you a task to do something 10 times, 7 times you try to do it, you fail. 3 times you get it right, but 7 times you fail. Most people, because how we condition, would consider themselves a failure because they don't know how to evaluate the results. If I then tell you that you're a baseball player and I'm trying to get you to hit a major league fastball and 7 times you strike out, but 3 times you get on base, you in the Hall of Fame if you bat 300 in baseball. That means 7 out of 10 times you fail, 3 times you get it right. You make millions and millions of dollars because you can do something 30% of the time. You got to know how to properly evaluate the results. And then when you evaluate those results properly, you go back to the drawing board and you make adjustments and you keep pushing, because the actions that you're taking is going to get the results, and those actions will lead to your habits. And your success or failure in life is 100% based on your daily habits. You are who you are right now today because of the habits that you have established throughout your life. And if you don't like where you are today, you need some new habits. But guess where the new habits come from? You got to go all the way back to how you believe. How you believe about yourself, how you believe about the environment that you're in. You got to go back to how you believe. And when you get the habits right, your habits are going to lead to and dictate your character. Your character is who you are when nobody's looking. And ultimately, your character determines your destiny. And if you don't like where you're destined to be today, ladies and gentlemen, go back to how you believe. So with that, we're going to wrap the show up for today. I appreciate you guys all from tuning in. Make sure you go check out our guests, the Prowl family, and faithrightnow.com is where you get all their tools and resources. Make sure y'all click on the links in the descriptions and the show notes. Support our sponsors, y'all. There's a reason that I can do this show every morning and bring you a ton of value and not have to charge you for this stuff. Some of you guys know right now you got more value from this show today for free than you get in some of these paid courses out here. So support our sponsors, Brian Keith McNeil, kidslovemoney.shop, and of course our guest Faith Right Now, and that's right, WRIT now, and show them some love. Until I talk to y'all next time, I want you to get your money up because you absolutely can do it, but more importantly, you deserve to do it, each and every single one of you. Now hustle up. But you've got to overcome fear if you're going to win.
You're tuned into the Cortez Hustle Show. Please like and subscribe.